Cleveland fans are talking about him as though the greatest quarterback in the world is coming, and they're going to the playoffs, and they don't care what he did because I was off the field. On the field, if he can throw a football and get them to the playoffs, they're all in.
Welcome back to Sports Talk with Dad. My name is Kyle, and as always, I cannot call this Sports Talk with Dad without the man sitting now across from me, a man who roamed the earth with the dinosaurs, my dad, Tim.
Tell you what, after this weekend of building the studio, I feel like I was there with the dinosaurs.
Oh man, I am with you here. As promised, we are recording from our brand new studio, and again, it is all thanks to you. We can't say thank you enough, so do me a favor and make sure you look right down here and like and subscribe. Share this with your friends so you can enjoy the videos just as much as we enjoy making them. I know we promised you guys a video on the actual construction project of this, but let me tell you, the audio that we have, let's just say I would not be happy if my grandmother saw the language that I was using when building this thing.
Your grandmother has heard the language that was used. It's just that it was used so often.
Not from me, from you. Remember, grandkids outweigh kids in grandma's eyes.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, and you didn't learn any of those words from me. You learned them from your mother.
I think she'd argue with that, but we are very excited to see the new studio here. We do have some new camera angles as well, so we did find a new home for Jobu.
Yes. What happened to Jobu's cigar?
I have no idea. He got lost in the move. We got to buy him some new cigars here.
Yes, you do. He's coming after you.
Now, you also have the golf thing. I've seen that since I was a kid. Pammy made that for you, right?
That's right. My niece/sister, Pammy, made that for me. It's latch hook or something.
No idea.
In honor of it being golf season and the golf course is opening up around here.
I am very excited for the golf courses. Just so you know, other update, I do have my side good to go as well. I couldn't leave out Batman. I'm a huge Batman fan, and I also got to show my Cub love and make sure Pogo's sitting here next to me. We are very excited, so thank you again for allowing us to build this brand new studio.
I'm so sore, and I was even gone for part of it because I went to the golf show.
Yes, you did. Now tell me, I've never been to a golf show before. How was it?
It was the first one I'd been to. I mean, they have a huge one down in Orlando, but I'd never been to it. It was fun. There were a lot of travel sites there. You know, even somebody from our old hometown in Tampa.
Yeah.
All the courses from around the state of Wisconsin were there. Sand Valley or Sand Hills up by Lake Arrowwood.
Okay.
They were there. Erin Hills, the great courses around here. Milwaukee County, I think, was there.
Yeah, Milwaukee County has a lot of great courses.
Brown Deer. I used to host the Greater Milwaukee Open.
Yeah.
So they were there. A lot of used equipment, which kind of surprised me. You could actually go there and buy new irons, new drivers, whatever you needed.
Now, let me ask you this, because you have become, since your car accident, as you've told the story before, you have become a connoisseur of collecting golf clubs that are used. Would you say, for our listeners out there, are you better off going to these golf shows to find deals, or are you better off looking Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and eBay?
I'd say if you know what you're looking for, you could have gotten great deals at the golf show. If you want to go and try the clubs and at least hold them and swing them. I mean, you remember last year, the other side of our garage kind of turned into a golf shop.
It kind of turned into a golf shop?
It was a golf shop and will be again, because I think I've got like 45 sets of clubs right now that I've got to go through. You know, I think Marketplace is still a great place to find stuff. It's certainly going to be cheaper than you'd find at the show. I was really surprised at the prices they were charging.
Really?
Yeah, it was close to full retail. I was able to find a great set of Callaway X2s that I'm hoping somebody's going to pick up from me off of Facebook.
Dude, I may pick those up from you. I'm a big Callaway fan.
I am too. I love them. And these X2 irons they are feel really good. I swung them, and I can't wait, start listing these clubs and get them out there while everybody's going out there. But right now, I want to get out and swing.
I'm with you. I have not been out yet. I haven't been out since last year when I was hitting the ball pretty well. So I'm excited to get back into it and start playing well. My goal is to break 80 this year.
I haven't swung a club since, I don't know, the last time we went out. I was swinging as well as I ever had been, considering the accident and everything.
Right. That's his excuse, by the way, is I can't drive it as far. You're beating me because of the accident.
Well, you're also 104 years younger than I am, so you should be out driving me, but I still beat you, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I can't putt. I have to figure out that I quit switching putters though. I'm sticking with my Odyssey putter. I need to figure that out.
Look, I've had the same putter in my bag for 25 years. I feel like I'm cheating on it every time I go with a different putter, and I putt so badly every time I go with another putter that it's a Ping Pal 2 with a lot of lead tape on it, and that's my putter.
That's one thing I've learned in golfing is every time I switch my putter to try and find something I was comfortable with, I do worse. I got consistent with one of my putters, and it worked out fine. I'd love to hear a good putter. I'm still trying to figure out this Odyssey, so please leave comments below to let me know what putter I should be getting, because I have to figure that part of my game out.
And I'll tell you another thing. I mean, I don't switch clubs very often. I'm definitely not switching drivers. All the new drivers were there, and all of them have come out. The new Cobra, the new Rogue from Callaway, the new Stealth with the carbon face on it.
That new Cobra is a good-looking driver.
Yeah, the Cobra is. But I've got a Maverick that I was hitting really well last year. You saw me. It was straight. For me, it was long. I'm not changing clubs. I am not going to get a new driver because I can't hit it any farther.
You got to figure out the clubs you have. I've been using the same driver, and I've tried to switch as well, and it just doesn't.
I laugh when you try to switch drivers.
It doesn't work out for me. The problem is with new drivers for me is I get really excited because I know it's more powerful than the driver that I have, and I start swinging harder because I want to see that ball fly.
But it's really not, because all the drivers that are out there, they're only going to hit the ball so far. They're all kind of gauged. You don't see.
But if I swing harder,
no,
the ball will go farther.
No, it won't. If you swing slower, then it may go farther. But
I understand the concept of it, but I don't believe it. My body just decides, you know what, backswing. I'm right here, and I'm coming through, and my body's like, we can swing hard on this one, and that ball's going to go a long way.
I swear to God, the head of your driver gets down by your knees on your backswing, and then you have hit some off the planet with that thing. But when you just take a nice, easy swing, you have crushed the ball.
Listen,
it made me very sad.
I can hit the ball consistently 300 yards. The issue I have is it goes 100 this way and then 200 that way.
Real golfers, yeah, exactly. Real golfers are going, you don't hit the ball 300 yards. I've seen you get it out there once with a lot of roll, but
I've hit a 300 drive once at the end of last year, but like you said, I had the benefit of a hill.
Yes, you did.
But I'm counting it. But even through the air, that ball went about 250 in the air.
It went where it was a great drive. But I'll tell you what, you are proof positive that the clubs you can get from Costco are just as good as the clubs average golfers can get at Golf Galaxy. Now, if you're a great golfer and you get fitted, that's a different story. But for somebody who's just going out and hitting it and really is just getting into the game, that set you got from Costco.
Callaway Edge, man. With the Odyssey putter, I paid $400 for those.
Yeah, it didn't come with a bag.
It came with a bag as well. I don't use the bag, but it came with one.
I mean, it was a great set. I play with Wilson D9s, and Wilson is not considered one of the top golf companies, like Callaway or whatever.
Right.
Tell you what, these irons are the best irons I've ever hit with, and Wilson makes a product every bit as good as the other big boys.
Especially if you're an amateur golfer. We're not talking about playing with the big boys. I'll never be able to play with the big boys, but I mean, I can go out and hit the ball and actually make a couple putts and get a couple birdies now.
I'll argue that Wilson's clubs are every bit as good as Callaway or TaylorMade or Cobra. They're really good.
I don't know.
They are.
I'm obsessed
very
with
good.
Cobra. I've never hit Cobra, but I'm obsessed with
That's why
the
you're
brand.
upset. Yeah, you're obsessed with them because you've never hit them.
But they look so pretty.
Pretty doesn't count.
Yeah, but they look so pretty.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to try. Let me know, anybody that's hit those Cobra clubs, let me know. Am I better off sticking with the Callaway edges that I have, or should I splurge on some Cobra clubs and see how far I can hit this ball?
Okay, Cobra clubs with a brand new driver and the irons, you're going to be at about $1,300.
Yeah, my wife would kill me,
No, I'm asking.
but
My
I
question
still
is,
want them.
would you be any better than you are with the Callaway edges that you got last year? And the answer is no.
The marketing tells me otherwise.
You're ridiculous.
But moving on, again, let me know what you guys think, because I do want to start putting better. I need to know what putter to get. Let me know what you guys are using. I have a problem right now, and my problem lies within the NFL.
I know where you're going with this.
I'm very upset at the reaction of people in the NFL.
The fans of Cleveland should be ashamed of themselves.
I'm disgusted by this. I am absolutely disgusted. Of course, we're talking about the Deshaun Watson case. And listen, the guy's an unbelievable talent. He's proven what he can do on the field. But to give a guy the guaranteed money and to protect his money by only giving him $1 million salary this year because they know he's going to be suspended.
Whoa, wait a minute. The grand jury refused to indict him.
Because the girls wouldn't testify.
So isn't he free to play, and shouldn't the fans just cheer him on?
There's 22 civil suits sitting out there. This isn't one, this isn't two, this isn't three, right? I understand that sometimes there's situations where somebody says something, whatever. I'm not going to get into that, but this is 22. There's a lot of smoke with this guy, and where there's smoke, there's fire. Every single time where there is smoke, there is fire. And there is too much smoke here. And all I can say is as a Packer fan, it would cost me my love of football and the love for my team to have somebody like Deshaun Watson.
He wasn't indicted. The women wouldn't testify to your point. Cleveland fans are talking about him as though the greatest quarterback in the world is coming, and they're going to the playoffs, and they don't care what he did because I was off the field. On the field, if he can throw a football and get them to the playoffs, they're all in.
I find it to be absolutely ridiculous. This is a game. This is a sport. This is something that kids are supposed to enjoy. I mean, how can I look at my son in the eyes if I'm a Cleveland Browns fan and say, yeah, cheer for this guy. Go buy this guy's jersey. Because, listen, there's putting people in situations where they can't say no, right? And that sounds like it's more one of those situations where, hey, here's an implication of what's going to happen. I mean, what do you do in that situation?
According to him, it was all consensual, and the women said yes, and so he wasn't indicted. So the NFL should give him a pass, and he should just go on the field with the Cleveland Browns, and all is forgiven and forgotten.
It's just absolutely ridiculous to give somebody like that. I mean, they're giving him the highest guaranteed contract in the history of the NFL. And we're talking about players like, I hear Packer fans talking about Aaron Rodgers, right? And complaining about Aaron Rodgers. Dude's never done anything like this. All he's done is complained about some situations he had at work, right? Which we all do on a regular basis. You have quarterbacks like Dak Prescott, who people are complaining about, saying he's not as great. Well, that's all on the field stuff, and that's fine. But we have a guy now that people are excited to play for their team that has 22 civil cases sitting out there against him for sexual misconduct.
Look, I'm trying to play devil's advocate on this, and I'm failing badly because I think the NFL, if you're going to ban the kid for betting $1,500, Watson better be out for 2 seasons.
Dude, betting $1,500 when he wasn't playing. He wasn't even playing at that time when he gambled. Do I think it's still wrong? Yes, I think it's still wrong. Sure. You shouldn't bet on the sport. You have inside information. It's no different than insider trading. But this guy's suspended for a year, and they're not paying him. They're talking about his contract, and you have Cleveland protecting his money by only giving him a base salary of $1 million this year, backloading a contract, which whoever does that, I mean, well, I guess everybody backloads a contract, but basically saying, most of these quarterbacks are going to get $28 million up front. They're literally only giving him $1 million in the first year to protect his money. Like, if he's going to get suspended,
and we haven't heard from the NFL yet what they're going to do.
We haven't. He hasn't been reinstated yet.
Well, Cleveland's got to know something. They don't make that move unless they've talked to the NFL.
They don't. It just there's situations, I think, in this world where we have gone way too far. And you and I have talked about those, and we're not going to get into them here. But this is a situation where, why are we protecting this guy? Yeah. Why are we excited to see him play? Is he a good player? Yeah, he's a really good player, and he's fun to watch. But this is a game for kids. I know their responsibility isn't to be role models, but it doesn't mean we glorify somebody who has 22 civil cases against them.
Look, we've gotten to the point where we don't tell people no. Life's not fair. And we should be looking at Deshaun Watson and a few other cases that are out there and going, no, you don't get to play.
Right.
You've done things that are vile and are taking opportunities away from other people.
Right.
You don't get to play this year.
And how quick was the NFL to react to the Calvin Ridley situation? Instantly. Boom. All of a sudden, he's kicked out for gambling. It's done. It's not even a question. A year is gone. And we're sitting here with Deshaun Watson, and he could be suspended. The rumor is he's going to be suspended for 8 games. For 8 games. And you just suspended somebody for
a full season
for gambling. And we're talking about 8 games for a guy who has 22 civil cases against him for pretty terrible things.
Hey, look, if it were me and I was in the NFL office, nobody's got that much talent. I'd do it to Aaron Rodgers. I'd do it to Russell Wilson. I'd do it to any top line, Tom Brady, any of them. Tell you what, go and take care of that civil case and come back when you're finished with it. And we'll let you see if we'll let you play then.
That's where I'm at, but at this point, the Cleveland Browns have pretty much tied the hands of the NFL by giving him that massive contract. Most guaranteed money for a guy that hasn't played in over a year now, who literally was complaining about playing for a team after they just signed him to a massive contract, and then gets kicked out of the league for dealing with criminal charges.
And the fans of Cleveland are already cheering him and buying tickets to their games.
They're already buying tickets. There's already jerseys being purchased. I'm sure they're pre-ordered already. They're excited for this.
I heard one person out there going, we need to show him love. No, you really don't need to show him love. You need to be booing him and telling him, go and take care of your civil cases and come back and play when those are finished.
You want to talk about an exciting player that was ostracized by the NFL? Think about Michael Vick. Vick was ostracized, and he should have been. He was killing dogs, right?
He
served his time. He did his punishment, and people protested. And now people are excited for a guy who's been accused of doing terrible things to another human being.
But you just put your finger on it. People care more about the animals and their pets than they do about the life of another human being.
It happens time and time again. It sickens me, and I don't want to spend too much time on this. You let us know in the comments below. If you think I'm a jerk, fine, comment below. If you're on my side, let me know as well. I think this is absolutely ridiculous, and I think Deshaun Watson should be out of the NFL until these civil cases are done, if not for the rest of his career. If he is guilty of these crimes, this guy should be in jail. And before you say, well, the women refused to testify, well, of course they did. Do you really want to live through that?
Yeah, my suspicion is these civil cases will never see the inside of a courtroom. They're all going to be settled quietly. Right. And I would love to hear from a Browns fan defending Deshaun Watson being their quarterback. I don't get it. I want to hear why they think it's okay. And I heard one that said, well, it's not okay, but he's our quarterback.
Right.
I heard one say, I don't care what he did off the field. Really? I've got a big problem with what he did off the field.
I have a huge problem with what he did off the field. I think it's ridiculous. I don't want to spend our whole show on this, but that is my thought on it. And again, let me know what you guys think out there. But he's not the only quarterback on the move.
Let's talk about the other quarterbacks.
There is a lot of quarterbacks moving right now.
All right, so you've got Matt Ryan moving to Indianapolis.
Just happened. Matt Ryan, Indianapolis. Today. I called that, by the way.
You did, as well as about 100 other people called it.
No.
Russell Wilson's now in Denver.
Yep.
Since the last we spoke. Rodgers doesn't have anybody to throw to, but he's in Green Bay. Kirk Cousins is settled. The only one that
went to Washington.
Okay, big deal.
Marcus Mariota, it sounds like, is going to Atlanta. That's the latest rumors.
He may be the best of the bunch because I think he has the talent to be able to make a difference there.
He does.
Seattle is still hanging out there without rumor is
Lock right now.
Well, I know, but that's not what they want to go to battle with. Rumor is Baker Mayfield may be going there.
Baker Mayfield in the last week went from a starting quarterback in the NFL to third string on a roster.
Yeah, in a big hurry, and he knows it. He knows it. But he's going to be traded. Somebody's going to have to eat at least half of his contract. I mean, Cleveland's going to have to eat half of their contract.
I mean, he's in the 5th year of his rookie contract. He hasn't signed his big deal yet.
Well, and if I'm now...
Not even 5th year, 4th year.
If I'm an NFL team, I'm not giving him a big contract. The man had OBJ on his team, who, by the way, just won a Super Bowl and got the Rams there.
Right.
Baker Mayfield couldn't hit him.
That's my question. Like, why aren't you looking for a receiver that obviously makes a difference? I mean, he went to L.A. and turned that team into a Super Bowl team.
I question Baker Mayfield. Is he really not that good? Because if you've got OBJ on your team, it'd be like having Devontae Adams and not throwing to him.
But he's been hurt. He's been hurt most of his career. I mean, he should have never played last year.
Who? OBJ?
Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield should have never played last year.
Not with that shoulder the way it was. But he's a tough kid.
Who cares? If you literally have to have your arm taped down so you don't hurt it anymore to make throws, then you shouldn't be out on the field. Go get surgery, recover from it.
Since when do teams care about the health of their players? They just want them to play.
And that's why he played. And it shows right there why you don't play through those situations. Because guess what? You didn't perform the way that people wanted you to because you were hurt. And they just went and found somebody else.
And now he's stuck. Where does he go? Nobody wants him.
Nobody wants him. Mitch Trubisky's going to the Steelers.
Yes.
That's not an option anymore. I think Trubisky's going to do great things for the Steelers.
I think Trubisky is going to be blown up when he gets there.
I don't know how you say that. I think he's going to do great things.
He's got a better situation. I'll give him that. But he's going to be another Vinny Testaverde. Nice quarterback. Certainly not a quarterback to get him to the promised land. He may take him to the Super Bowl, and if he does, good for him. I just don't think he's that guy. I think he was drafted way too high. He never had the kind of ability where he should have been drafted like that. The other quarterback we haven't talked about that's going to be traded, and teams really they remember he was a first-round pick, is Jordan Love.
Jordan Love is heading out of Green Bay, and I think that makes a lot of sense for the Packers and for Jordan Love. The question is, where does he go? Indianapolis was a big conversation. Obviously,
there.
Matt Ryan's got 3 years left on his deal. I mean, he's going to be there for the long haul. Indy's set. Seattle's still out there. I mean, San Francisco is still out there.
Jimmy G's going to land someplace.
Jimmy G that dice still hasn't fallen. He hasn't been traded yet. Who knows where he's going to go?
Well, I know one place he's not going to go. The AFC West.
Dude, it's stacked.
That's stacked. I mean, but I'm going to make a prediction as long as we do that quite often here. And we've been right, too.
We've gotten a bunch of them right.
Any Packer quarterback, or Packer wide receiver, rather, that's left from playing for one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time and goes someplace else to play with somebody they think is pretty good has never fared very well. Devontae Adams is going from playing from probably one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time to going to play with a quarterback who's his buddy, who's a good quarterback, a decent quarterback, but not even the best quarterback in his own family, I don't think life is going to be very good for him in the long term.
I think it's going to get very interesting, to say the least. I mean, it's a stacked wide receiver room with Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow at this point. I don't know why he would leave Green Bay other than he just was tired of being in Green Bay and wanted to go someplace warm. I mean, listen, he likes big shiny cars, right? And in Green Bay, people don't react the same way they do in Vegas for that.
He's a big city kid, and I don't begrudge him that.
No,
Green
go
Bay
if you don't want to be there.
Everybody.
Go.
Yeah, and he did. But now the Packers have to find some wide receivers. Packers have two quarterbacks, one of which has to go because, to be fair to Jordan Love, he deserves a chance someplace.
He does, and it's not going to be in Green Bay.
No.
Rodgers hasn't spoken yet, but you got to assume that he knew about this. Obviously, the Packers have been saying he knew about it. You had to think before he signed, that was part of the conversations of, hey, I don't want to be here. You have 2 first-round picks now. You can trade up and get a wide receiver. You can draft 2 receivers, which I definitely see happening.
I'm going to say this again. A draft wide receiver is not going to solve the problem with the Packers because it takes a long time to learn not only their offense, but to learn to play with Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers has already said he doesn't have a lot of patience for going to OTAs and working out with these guys before this preseason starts. So that's not going to happen. So you bring in a guy cold, don't expect a lot from him the first year, just like with Devontae Adams. You didn't get a lot out of him until his second, third year when he really blossomed. And he put in the work. I give him all the credit. He's the best wide receiver in the league.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to miss him. My son's still got his jersey. He'll still wear it around. Big Devontae Adams fan. He's done everything the right way. He's exactly the type of person you want your kids to look up to. And I was always very excited with Devontae Adams with my kids being fans because he was a great guy to look up to. What do you do if you're the Packers now? There's nobody left in free agency.
No.
I mean, they're all gone. And that's what sucks about the timing of the thing, because obviously you're trying to sign Devontae Adams and bring him back, and then he's gone, and by that time, there's no more wide receivers left.
You got Julio Jones, which is like
you have to trade for him.
Yeah, they've got the draft capital. It won't take a first rounder, and Julio Jones at the end of his career. So if you got him and Randall Cobb,
2 guys that can't stay healthy anymore.
But Julio Jones is that transcendent wide receiver. I think he'd love to play with Rodgers. Rumor had it that you could trade to Seattle. Jordan Love can go out there with draft picks and they get one of their wide receivers.
You got Lockett and DK Metcalf, but if you're really not rebuilding in Seattle, you're not giving up those 2 wide receivers. I mean, why are you going to give up 2 players that your quarterback can throw to?
Because they don't have the quarterback that's going to get them to the Super Bowl. Not on that staff right now, and if they get Baker Mayfield, they still don't have that quarterback. So they will be willing to part, and they're a run-first team anyways. They're
very much a run-first team. I just think you have to build through the draft. They got, what I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Olaf, but the guy from Ohio State, he's unbelievable. He's one of the best route runners in the game. I watched him play a lot for the Buckeyes this year. And he would be a great addition to that team.
Sure. I hope the Packers do make a draft pick for a wide receiver, but I don't think it's going to be the immediate help. And I still don't think Rodgers sees the end of that contract.
No, he definitely won't see the end of the contract by any means.
So we're talking, I mean, if you're a Packer fan, there's not a lot of hope for the season at this point, except for the fact, and all those Packer fans that are saying, oh, Aaron Rodgers, go away. Should have went with Devontae Adams. That's just crazy talk.
It is crazy talk. This gives us the cap room to make some moves. There's just no moves to be made anymore. We brought back Tanyan, which is great, but he's coming off of an ACL injury.
He's
brought back Douglas, which is awesome. But that guy was literally a practice squad player.
I think he caught lightning in a bottle, but you will get Jair Alexander back. I think their defense is going to be good.
I think our defense is going to be stacked.
And we forgot one quarterback that just popped up out of the blue. Tom Brady came back.
Tom Brady came
We've
back.
been gone for a long time. We missed a lot this week.
Yeah, this was a bad week to do construction and stop talking about sports. Too much has happened.
But we did do that. We had to get this done because we needed the extra space. So please help us pay for all this by subscribing and liking and ringing the bell so you get notified. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you were close.
Okay, sorry. That's usually your line, but you forgot. So. But getting back
Definitely said that at the beginning.
Yeah, well. Tom Brady's back. So you've got Tampa Bay that's going to be in the hunt again. The AFC is going to...
The AFC's stacked. I don't know who's coming out of the AFC. I still think the Patriots are a front runner. Even with all the moves, I think the Patriots are... I don't bet against Bill Belichick.
Well, it's because he'll cheat to win.
Right.
Yeah. How can you be a Patriot fan?
I'm not
we talk about this, the Watson situation in Cleveland. How can you root for a team that got a coach that's cheated? He is not the greatest coach of all time because if he was, he wouldn't have had to cheat to win.
I mean, he got caught doing something that everybody else in the league was doing. He just did it longer. Everybody in the league was doing it. He just kept doing it. Yes, he's broken the rules several times. Several times.
I mean, I'm not blaming the whole Deflategate. I don't buy into that.
More came out about that, by the way. I don't know if you saw that report or not.
What?
That there was a reporter that did some more digging into it, and it got buried that the ball was in the range of it getting flatter because it was cold, which means it would have been at the regular PSI, but because it was colder, that's why it deflated a little bit, and the NFL just buried it.
Well, wait.
Really, it was one of those things where you didn't get punished enough for Spygate, so we're going to go after you here.
Like I've always said in tennis, guys like Bjorn Borg, John McEnroe, Rafa Nadal, they can play with spoons. Tom Brady could play with anything and be fantastic. I don't think he was playing with a legal ball. I think he got jobbed by the NFL in that situation. And, Tom is...
Bill Belichick's a great coach. Do I think he's one of the greatest coach of all time? I think he is for his generation. We'll never know. You have to judge it. Lombardi, obviously, Packer fan. I'm wearing Packer stuff right now. Obviously, in my opinion, the greatest coach of all time, but it was a different era. He was a GM that could draft and that could develop, and he didn't have the free agents. He had to develop all of his players. Bill Belichick's the greatest coach of this generation. He took advantage of free agency and drafted well.
He's one of the better coaches of his generation, and he was certainly the best cheater of his generation.
He was the best cheater of his generation. There is no doubt about that. I'll agree there. But Tom Brady back. But think of the NFC.
It's wide
Rodgers is coming back. Brady's back. Everybody just went to the AFC.
Yep. You got Dak Prescott in Dallas.
You got Dallas. Where Mike McCarthy either wins or he gets fired.
Yeah, Sean Payton has got that job next year unless he wins the Super Bowl.
You have the Buccaneers who just re-signed Godwin and still have Mike Evans and just got Tom Brady back. They lost a lot on the offensive line with Marpet retiring, and that defense is going to definitely be a question mark for them. And that's about it.
Well, you still have Arizona, and you still have the Rams. I mean, the defending Super Bowl champions.
They just lost everybody.
But they just re-signed Stafford, and Stafford is a good quarterback. They still have OBJ if he comes back off of the ACL.
I just don't see anybody else there. I mean, this is Rodgers' year to do something, and I think that's part of the reason why Tom Brady came back. He's like, dude, there's nobody here.
I saw a great...
really, he gets to half-ass it for an entire season and just show up for the playoffs.
I saw a great video about Brady retiring and gets home, and he's got this whole honey-do list, and after about the fifth day, he's going and looking for his phone going, hey, Bruce, I'm ready to come back. I don't care. Just give me back. Give me the heck out of this house. Can't do it anymore. And I think that's true, so...
He wasn't ready to go. I think that somebody leaked he was retiring and kind of forced his hand to make a decision. I don't think he was ready to make that decision yet, and clearly changed his mind pretty quickly. Very Brett Favre move, for sure.
Look, if you're that good of a quarterback and you still think you can do it, you're going to come back and play.
Yeah.
And I don't begrudge them doing that.
No, especially not in a wide open NFC. Again, I mean, you got the Packers, who, if they can get any wide receiver for somebody to throw to, they'll be in it. You got the Buccaneers with Tom Brady, because you never bet against Tom Brady. Like you said, the Rams, but I don't see them.
Dallas, Arizona.
Kyler Murray doesn't even want to play football anymore.
And I don't think San Francisco is going to be as good as it was this year. Jimmy Garoppolo, say what you want about him, the guy wins.
I really thought San Francisco was going to make a bigger play for Matt Ryan to reunite him with Shanahan.
Who knows what went on behind closed doors. Garoppolo still has to land someplace.
He's still on the team.
Well, I don't think he's going to be back in San Francisco. I think that'll be a draft day move.
Yeah.
I don't know where he'll go yet. I think Jordan Love could be a draft day decision.
Agreed.
And, certain teams have some deals to be made. Tampa Bay is going to be active in the draft because, as you said, they need an offensive line.
They do.
New Orleans still needs a quarterback. Jameis Winston is on the free agent market as well.
Yep.
I don't think anybody's picking him up, or he would have been gone by now.
Right.
So football is going to be fun to watch this year.
This is the most change we've ever seen when it comes to a quarterback position in the NFL. And it is going to be a very interesting year. I'm excited for the draft, man.
I am too. Football does the best job of keeping themselves relevant through their offseason, which brings me to one other topic. While we were gone, the MLB came to an agreement with the owners and players, and they screwed this up every single way they could. If there was a way, if they go left, it's the wrong way. If they go right, it's the right way. They went left every time.
Listen, we need a whole episode just to talk about this because you and I are going to get passionate and loud. And I think it's time that we wrap up this episode. It's our first one back in a week. And again,
let me talk about this.
No, we're gonna save it for the next episode. We're gonna tease this one because trust me, I'm with you. I'm gonna get passionate about this.
I wore my Negro Leagues cap that I'm very proud of because I love the Negro Leagues. Baseball did not even look at the future of the game, and you're gonna make me stop. Fine.
Listen, we thank you so much for joining in this time. Thank you again for helping us get this new studio. Let us know what you think about it in the comments below. Do tune in on Thursday when we drop our next video because we are going to talk about baseball. We are going to talk about exactly what went wrong in these negotiations and why there shouldn't have even been baseball this year with what was going on. So please make sure you tune in. Do me a favor as well. Like, subscribe, and hit that little bell notification so you get to enjoy these episodes as much as we enjoy making them. Before we head out, any last words?
Let's tee it up and start playing golf.
Oh, I can't wait to get out on the golf course. Some nice days coming. But wait, we are not done yet. And now we're done. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Sports Talk with Dad. We'll see you next time.
See you, everybody.